Hey, what's going on? I wanted to jump on real quick and drop a little quickie. My buddy Derek is in the process of moving right now back to New Hampshire. So once he gets settled, we'll get back into some more in-depth reviews. But I wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the new release Pig from 1056. If you're not familiar with 1056, they are a heavy deathcore band out of Paris, France. The band was formed by Aaron Matz, who was with Betraying the Martyrs for about 10 years, a pretty big metalcore band. He wanted to get into a project that was, I think his words were disgustingly heavy, and 1056 is successfully disgustingly heavy. They are a really cool band. They've been around for about 5 years, dropped a couple of EPs in 2021, 22, Downer Part 1, Downer Part 2, an EP in 2020, or a full-length album, Downer, in 2023, as well as singles here and there. And they are a fantastic band. If you're into the heavy stuff, I highly recommend checking them out. They are doing something that I think is unique and different with heavy music. They sort of sit in the same pool as the Dolly Thundering Concept, who I am a massive fan of, another French band, as it happens, Darko US, Novelists, Viljarta, who is another really super heavy band. But they're taking heavy music. All these bands are sort of taking heavy music and they're putting a really legitimately new, unique spin on it. They're incorporating really intense production and bringing a lot of electronic elements into the genre of heavy, which I love. I think it's great. They're kind of doing now what in the 80s bands like Ministry and Front 242, My Life with Thrill Kill Cult, with what those bands were doing back in the 80s, this is sort of the new version of that 45 years later. It's intense stuff, to be sure. All of these bands are pretty heavy in terms of their general feel. And to a lot of people, that level of heavy is just too much, which is fair. But if you're into this kind of stuff, I think it's fantastic that bands continue. And this happens across all genres, not just in the metal realm. But I think it's great to see new bands evolving the genres and doing new stuff that we haven't previously heard. Not to say it's new. This has been going on for 5 or 6 years now, so it's not new. But I think a lot of these bands are starting to pick up some real steam and get noticed for this new style. And 1056 is one of those bands that deserves to be heard because they're doing something that is different. This new EP Pig is short. It's only 4 songs. So there's not a tremendous amount of content, which may be by design. I don't know. I can't wait for them to keep dropping more and more. I first got into them a few years ago with their singles Diazepam and Boy. If you're a lyrical content person, this is pretty heavy lyrical content. They deal with, they talk a lot about suicide. Aaron Matz's lyrics they're not a bright, shiny Sunday afternoon walk in the park kind of thing, but they resonate with a lot of people. A lot of people struggle. And I think what Aaron's doing lyrically is going to resonate with a lot of people. If you get online and you look at the forums, Reddit, and so on and so forth, you're going to see people speaking directly to the bands and thanking them for addressing these kinds of topics. So in that regard, I think it's great. I've never been a big lyrical guy. If you've watched any of our reviews in the past, you'll know I'm much more rhythm and groove and feel based. So I just don't pay as much attention to the lyrics. I love the lyrical phrasing in music, and this is no different. I love what Aaron does with where he puts each word, through a string of music. But so long story short, if you're a lyrical person, this may really land with you. If you're not a lyrical person like me and you just dig the feel, well, it's going to hit there too. I can't recommend it enough. It is a strong 4 songs. And if you want to see them, they are on tour this summer with Signs of the Swarm, Mental Cruelty, Carcosa, and Face Yourself. It's a U.S. tour, so we're going to get some of this fantastic stuff here in the States, which is awesome. And again, check it out. I think it's worthwhile. And we will be back with some full big reviews here probably sooner than later. So see ya.